Alright guys, welcome back for another Dokkan Battle video. So we had our maintenance, the data download has been done, Gohan is in the game system, and so looking at the schedule right here, it seems he is going to drop, today is the 14th, so today at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, which is my time, so at 6 p.m. We should get his banner, and then at around maybe 4 for me, 4 or close to 5 o'clock is when we should get the news for the celebration for Global. I will be covering both the news on Global and JP, just to kind of compare and contrast the two, because of course both of them are going to be different. We're going to be getting a couple more stuff that we haven't gotten yet, and then JP is going to get, their own separate little things. So this Gohan, again, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time is what it says right here on the 14th, which is today. So let's take another quick look at him. So this Gohan, he's tech. I would have preferred to maybe see him be AGL, just because we haven't really gotten, another really good AGL unit in a while. But, Super Tech, that's fine. Super Tech does need the help, so this is, still good. And then he is Movie Heroes 4 key 130%, and then Super Tech 4 key 100%. His super attack is Soaring Dragon Havoc. This is his 12 to 17 key, raises attack and defense, and then greatly lowers defense. And then Brilliant Strike, his 18 to 24 key, raises defense for 1 turn, causes Mega Colossal, and then massively lowers defense. Personally, I would have probably preferred to see maybe greatly raises defense as well as greatly raises attack and defense. I think that would have been better for this Gohan, just to really, go in and just make him, easily one of the best units in the game. I think would have been better, because again, people really love Gohan, and I think if they made him just a little bit better by, maybe tweaking him a little bit, I think that would have been much better. So he has 58% attack and defense at the start of turn. He gets 1 key per key sphere. He gets an additional 7% attack and defense per key sphere. He gets another attack buff of 58% attack when performing an ultra super attack, and then his attack becomes a critical hit, and additional 59% attack when he does an ultra if there's a Movie Heroes Goku and you're under 58%. Personally, for me, I would have taken away, the turn restriction, which again, it's at the 5th turn. I would have taken that away. I think it would have been much better if he got both the active skill and the attack buff. If, he just falls below 58% and there's a Movie Heroes Goku with you, I think that would have worked much better. This would have made this Gohan a whole lot better. And, this Gohan primarily is a damage dealer for sure. First and foremost, he is not a defensive unit, but, that's not to say that he can't defend. This Gohan can defend for sure. But again, he's going to be very orb dependent and very orb hungry. So if you really want him to have like some really solid defense, you do have to give him a bit of orbs in order for him to get there. But again, that with the raising defense on super attack, means that this Gohan is going to have some decent defensive stats. But again, damage is what really, this Gohan is meant to be. He's primarily a damage dealer. And then his links, very good links. The only link I would change is just Gaze of Respect, because again, Gaze of Respect is mostly on Piccolos and like Kid Gohans from like very early on in the series. So and you're really not going to run a whole lot of those units on a team with this Gohan. The only team I guess he was really kind of shafted off of is Kamehameha, because it does not mention Kamehameha in his super attack. He was not put on the Kamehameha category, even though he actually uses it in his super attack, which doesn't make sense to me, but that's what they decided to go. So again, this Gohan is a double rates banner. Personally, I usually tell people not to summon, but I might say maybe throw 1 or 2 multis at it, test your luck. Obviously because it's double rates, you could get super lucky and pull this Gohan. But again, I wouldn't go too deep into this banner if you're a global free-to-play unit. Not a global free-to-play unit, but player. I would just do maybe 1 or 2 multis on this banner and then cut your losses at there. Because again, you could, just like with any other banner, even if it's double rates, you could get shafted on this banner. And so, again, I think it's wise to not summon, personally, for me. But again, if you really want this Gohan, again, maybe throw 1 or 2 multis at him. That won't hurt. But again, just remind yourself, because it's a double rates banner, it's a blue coin banner, not a yellow coin banner. So that's just something else to keep in mind. Other units that we're going to be talking about is, that's actually for later. Let me put you over here. Okay, so this AGL Kaioken Goku, and then this Int Super Saiyan, I believe it's Super Saiyan, Gohan from, I believe this is the Broly movie, but yeah. Alright, so Goresh here has some rough translations. Okay, so for this Kaioken Goku, he's going to be getting 70% attack and defense at the start of turn. He gains an additional 50% attack when launching a super, when collecting 3 or more AGL Key Spheres, and then he performs a critical hit with 5 or more Key Spheres, and then for super attack effect, he greatly stacks attack and he stacks defense. And then for Gohan, he gets 120% attack, 60% defense when performing a super attack. He gains an additional 30% attack and defense, and a medium chance to perform a critical hit, and a medium chance to evade enemies' attacks for the rest of the battle, once 3 super attacks have been launched by this character. And then his super attack effect for the Gohan, he raises defense for 1 turn. Okay, so I would say that the Goku is, I would say, by far much better than the Gohan. Again, just because he's stacking defense and greatly stacking attack, and he's getting a guaranteed crit with 5 or more Key Spheres, which is pretty good. And then he gets an additional attack buff with 3 or more. Of course, he's going to be orb hungry, but I would say that's not as bad, because again, with this Gohan, you have to super 3 times in order for him to get an extra 30% attack and defense, to have a medium chance of performing a crit and evading attacks. But again, medium chance is probably 25 to 30, so it's not as reliable. But either way, these units are still fairly decent. Again, for units that came out a very, very long time ago, they're still very, very good. Alright. Okay, so this is the same thing. And then this. Alright. So people have been speculating, usually when events leave, they have some sort of significance to them. Again, this is all Saiyan Saga story events, the Raditz and the Grade 8 Vegeta story events. So people have been speculating for New Year's, maybe, they could drop Kaioken Goku and Grade 8 Vegeta. So, just a little thing right there. And with the celebration, it was read in the data that we were going to be getting the Super Saiyan 2 Caulifla and Berserk Kale EZA. So I decided to, kind of go over what they can do, what their EZA does for these units, just to kind of give everyone else a heads up. Alright, so this Caulifla, Super Saiyan 2 Caulifla, when she EZAs, is in all types 3 key, 80% to stats. Super attack causes supreme damage and raises defense by 60% for 3 turns. So this Caulifla is going to be very, very good defensively. Again, the 60% defensive increase is very, very good. And it really ramps up very, very quickly after the first super, trust me. Passive adaptive combat, 120% attack, 60% defense at the start of turn, so fairly decent buffs. High chance of evading enemies' attack, including super attack, that is a 50% chance. Medium chance of evading enemies' super attack and countering with tremendous power, so that's a 30% chance. That's actually not that bad. Attacks effective against all types when there's an ally whose name includes Kale. Okay, so this is not very hard because there's a free-to-play Super Saiyan 2 Kale. So again, she's going to be basically super effective against all types. She has a 30% chance of evading enemy super attacks and countering, and then a high chance of just, dodging regular attacks, including super attacks. It's just that medium chance is, her countering. And then with her defensive raising, this Caulifla is going to be a very, very good unit. And then factoring links after link level update, she's going to be very, very solid. And then she's on Peppy Gals, Universe Survival Saga, Pure Saiyans, Full Power, Universe 6, Super Saiyan 2, and Rapid Growth. So a buff to Rapid Growth, Super Saiyan 2, Peppy Gals, for sure, Universe 6, so yeah. And then her stats, okay, she's almost got almost 10k defense, so this Caulifla should be fairly decent. Alright. Now let's go over to Berserk Kale. This is actually, I think, one of the most not hype, but for me, it's easily one of the better EZAs that I've been looking forward to. So she's going to be physical type 3 key, 100% to stats. So already she actually has a better leader skill than Caulifla. And it's actually a really decent leader skill if you're a free-to-play player and you've pulled her. You know, she's been out for a while now, so you've probably pulled her already. You know, especially for Dokkan Ultimate Clash, you know, you can run her as your physical type leader for super or extreme, which I think is really, really good about her. And then her super attack causes immense damage and greatly lowers defense. So not the best super attack effect. Personally, I would have, you know, seen greatly lowers attack and defense. I think would have been much better. Her passive is 160% attack at the start of turn, so no defense, but she launches an additional attack that has a great chance, which is a 70% chance, of becoming a super attack, reduces damage received by 60% for 6 turns from the start of turn, reduces damage received by 60% with 6 or more physical key spheres obtained starting from the 7th turn from the start of battle. So this Berserker Kayle, she's not as good as Caulifla in terms of her passive, but again, that 60% damage reduction is pretty good. Again, 50% damage reduction and above is better, 40% and lower is kind of ass. So the fact that they gave her 60% is really good. Again, this Caulifla, or this Kayle, is going to be built for short events, because again, 6 turns from the start of turn, and then she loses her guaranteed 60%. So again, she's a unit that you really will want to run in events like Super Battle Road, where they're not gonna, I mean, you're probably not gonna reach turn 6 in Super Battle Road. It's usually around maybe 3 or 4 is, you know, usually how long the fights last. So, you know, she's gonna be very good for physical, especially if you're a newer player or an older player who has yet to defeat the stages. She's going to be really good. And then she's on Universal Survival Saga Pure Saiyans Universe 6 Exploding Rage. Okay, so another buff to Exploding Rage, though I don't know why they didn't put her on full power. That doesn't really make sense. I mean, she should be on full power. Yeah, doesn't make sense why she's not on, but I mean, this is what Dokkan does. And then we're also going to be getting the EZAs for the Universe 2 girls, so Ribrianne, Rosie, and Kakunsa. Alright, let's start with Ribrianne. Again, all of these are free-to-play units. Their event is out right now, so if you still have not, you know, farmed them up, I would go ahead, I would farm all of them up. Their EZAs are actually really good. Okay, so this Ribrianne is Peppy Gal's 3 key 99% to stats, which is basically 100% to stats, which is a decent leader skill. And then STR type 3 key 50% to stats. Okay, so she has 2 supers. She has Super Amor Shower, and then Ribrianne Eternal Love, which has a 30% chance of activating. But the great thing about it is that both of them raise attack and defense for 1 turn, so that's very solid. That is a 30% raise. Yep, 30% raise. And then her passive is attack and defense plus 22% per Peppy Gal's category ally on the team, so already you want to run her on Peppy Gal's for sure. Recovers 22,222 HP per Rainbow Key Sphere obtained, so already very good. Plus an additional attack and defense, chance of performing a critical hit, and chance of evading enemy's attack, plus 22% when there is an ally whose name includes Rosie or Kakunsa attacking in the same turn. Alright, so she gets 22% attack and defense, plus a 22% chance to perform a critical hit and evade enemy's attack, including supers, if you have a Rosie or Kakunsa attacking in the same turn. Okay, that's not hard, just because, again, they did release the free-to-play units of Kakunsa and Rosie, so you can run them along each other. And they're gonna link pretty well, because, again, they share, you know, Battlefield Diva, they're gonna be sharing Tournament of Power, Shattering the Limit, More Than Meets the Eye, stuff like that. Actually, let me check if they have that. Yeah, More Than Meets the Eye, Battlefield Diva, Shattering the Limit, Tournament of Power. The Innocence, they have that as well, Signature Pose. So they're gonna link very well together. Okay, so this Ribrianne is on Peppy Gal's. Special Pose, Space Traveling Warriors, Transformation Boost, and Universe Survival Saga. Okay, so obviously we don't have Space Traveling Warriors. Special Pose, again, that's a good buff for that team, just because, again, it's very, very limited. Peppy Gals, again, good buff. And then Transformation Boost and Universal Survival Saga, didn't really need it, but, you know, they decided to give them buffs as well. Alright, so this Ribrianne is very, very solid. Again, honestly, at this point, if you're free to play, you know, the Peppy Gal team is easily one of the teams that you could run in. And, you know, that Peppy Gals team, I've said before, they're very, very good. They're super underrated, I think, but Peppy Gals is easily one of the best teams in the game. Alright, so let's head on to Rosie. So Rosie is Special Pose, 3 key, 77% to stats. So again, if you don't have Special Pose category leader, boom, Rosie is going to be that leader. Of course, she's only 77%, but again, she's a free-to-play unit. Alright, so her super attack, I'm not even going to try to pronounce that. I'm just going to call it the Yamcha Fist. Raises defense, it causes supreme damage to the enemy and lowers defense. So again, very good defensive stacker. Already going to be good for things like the Legendary Goku event and long events. She's not necessarily going to be the best when it comes to shorter events. Passive skill, 80% attack and defense at the start of turn. Special Pose category, allies 2 key, attack and defense plus 22%. So again, very, very good. She is both a support type unit and she's stacking defense, already very, very solid. 22% attack at the start of each turn, and seals the attacked enemy super attack when there is an ally whose name includes Ribrianne or Kakunsa attacking in the same turn. Alright, so this is very, very powerful ability. So she seals all enemies if there's a Ribrianne or Kakunsa. So, that is actually super good. Holy cow. So she's raising defense, she's supporting, and then she seals. Pretty good. Okay, she's on all the same categories, so Special Pose, another buff, Peppy Gals as well, and then Space Traveling Warriors, of course, we don't have. And then lastly, we have Kakunsa. Let's go here. Okay, so Kakunsa is also Special Pose, 3 key, 77% stats, except she raises attack and lowers attack. So I think Kakunsa super attack effect, the second part is much better than Rosie's, you know, because Rosie lowers defense, but Kakunsa lowers attack. I think that's much better, you know, lowering attack. Alright, so she is Special Pose, 2 key, attack and defense plus 22%, also 80% attack and defense at the start of turn. Instead, she gets 22% defense at the start of turn, and a high chance of stunning the attacked enemy when there is an ally whose name includes Ribrianne or Rosie. Alright, so I would say I would rather run the Rosie and the Kakunsa rotation, just because, again, Rosie's going to be sealing, Kakunsa has that 50% chance to stun. So I think that's a much better thing than Ribrianne's, you know, 22% extra attack and defense, chance of performing a critical hit, and then evading enemy's attack. And then since they're buffing each other 22%, you know, that's going to be very, very good. And that's actually going to be a really strong rotation, especially for, you know, a free-to-play unit. And by the way, this extra 22% that they get at the start of each turn, that's infinite. So they infinitely get this buff. There is no end to their defense or attack. So, yeah, these units are very, very good. They're very, very good. I think that's it. Yeah, we've got so we covered Gohan. Again, this Blue Kaioken Goku and this Super Saiyan Int Gohan, wrong one, is only going to be for JP. Again, we're going to be getting Caulifla, Kale, Kakunsa, Rosie, Ribrianne, and of course, you know, we're going to be getting Gohan. We do not have details of his banner yet, but I would, you know, actually, you know what, when we do you know, celebration details, I'll do another separate video kind of going over his banner, kind of giving you a last minute, you know, opinion on whether or not you should summon. But, you know, personally, I say throw 1 or 2 for now. Again, I want to kind of look at his banner before I kind of definitively say yes, summon, you know, but, you know, only once or twice. So yeah, anyways guys, that is going to do for today's video. Again, just to kind of go over this Kale and Caulifla, we're finally going to be getting their EZA after a while. Personally, I would say Caulifla is better. Again, she's raising defense on super attack by 60%. You know, she's evading, she's countering super attacks, and then she's super effective against all types. Though this Kale is not bad either. She's got damage reduction, she's got high attack, she has a great chance of launching 2 super attacks, but then with her hidden potential, she could, you know, triple super each turn. You know, she can do that, so she's more of a damage dealer. Caulifla is also a damage dealer, but, you know, she's going to be much better defensively. And then Ribrianne, Cocoonsa, and Rosie, again, you can run a complete free-to-play Peppy Gals team, and you're going to be completely fine. Ribrianne's super good as a leader. You know, they're all supporting each other. They've all got these amazing, you know, kind of like uniqueness to them, like Rosie's Sealing, Cocoonsa's Stunning. You know, they're getting attack buffs and defensive buffs at the start of turn. You know, they're supporting special pose. So, you know, they're very, very good. So, as I said before, that's going to do it for today's video. And I will see you guys next time.